Impact imprints. Warren Buffett's inspiring speech.
I appreciate that. When you get to be 87, people stand and applaud at the start because they're not sure whether you're going to be around at the end. And then I got invited to go to LaGuardia, to the LaGuardia Community College, and I met a truly remarkable group. Whether it was male, female, Hispanic, African American, whatever it might be, these people had one thing in common. They knew they had it in themselves. They knew they could be something beyond where they were. They were willing to put their time, their energies to better themselves. And behind them, as I saw when I got to the graduation on September 22nd, frequently they had parents who were crying as their children received the degrees. They had spouses, they had siblings. It was one of the great experiences of my life, and at that point I was hooked. So I went to New Orleans, I went to Chicago, I went to Detroit, I went to Cleveland, I went to Baltimore, and I met the most remarkable group of people, and if you'd told me that 22 or 2,300 out of them, those people would be here just 8 years later, having proven to yourself what you really could do with more skills, it's just remarkable. So I would like to just tell you a couple of short stories, and we'll draw maybe a couple of lessons from them. As I came in, Mike Bloomberg was talking, and he talked about immigrants, and I echo his remarks. But I would like to tell you of two women that each sold a business to Berkshire Hathaway, to me actually, for many, many, many millions of dollars. Both of them started with $2,500. By coincidence, it was the exact same amount. It was everything they had in the world. And one of them was a woman who landed in Seattle in 1917, couldn't speak a word of English, had a tag around her neck. The tag said, Fort Dodge, Iowa. The Red Cross got her to Fort Dodge, where she was reunited with her husband, who had come to the country a couple of years earlier. And she lived in Fort Dodge for 2 years, and as she put it, she felt like a dummy. She couldn't pick up the language, she couldn't learn a word. And so she and her husband decided to move to Omaha. They came to Omaha in 1919, and there she found a small colony of Russian Jews, so she started feeling more at home. And then as her oldest daughter went to school, she would come home, this daughter, Frances, and she would teach her mother the words she'd learned in school that day. And this woman, Rose Blumpkin, spent 20 years saving money, bringing first her siblings over, her mother and father, $50 at a time. She sold used clothing to do it. She had 4 children during this period. And by 1937, after 20 years, she'd saved $2,500. She went to Chicago, and she bought what she could of furniture. Her dream had always been to open a furniture store. And this woman who had never gone to school one day in her life.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.